Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone who rule and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 12, verses 10 to 13. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans out there who are the true children of Israel have a natural enemy out here, and it's these so-called white people who are the biblical Edomites. And like it says, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And when rust starts to set into any metals, you may be able to seem to wipe it away, but that rust is always going to be there. So that wickedness in these Edomites, that confrontational hatred and wanting to kill you is always there, no matter how much they want to doll it up or seem like they're your best friends. As it's about to say in the next verse, though he humble himself and go crouching, acting like a good neighbor, acting like a so-called friend, a co-worker, maybe helping you out on some things, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. That rust, that wickedness, no matter how much you seem to wipe it away, is always going to be there. Set him not by thee, lest when he overthrow thee, he stand up in thy place. Never let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And now at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. And I opened up this video with these verses to profile an article on WTAE.com titled, PA State Police's Heritage Affairs Team Joins Investigation into Peter Spencer's Death in Venango County. And this is Peter Spencer right here, a Jake, a Benjamite, or a so-called Jamaican. And as we'll see in this article, this Jake went on a hunting trip with some Edomites, and he ended up dead, shot 9 times. This is somebody who clearly trusted their enemy, and you can see the results of it. As it says back in verse 11, and thou at the last remember thy words and be pricked therewith. This man lost his life for trusting his enemies. And I don't know this guy's personal life, whether he heard the message of the Hebrew Israelites or not, but there's a good chance he did, because this word is on the internet and has gone global. And hey, we're getting closer and closer to the times where the Most High is no longer going to be taking mercy or having patience on you Jakes out here who don't want to take heed to his words. And you're going to see more judgments and racial animosity and hatred go out like this. As Apostle Tahar deemed 2022 to be the year of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, turning things up. Hey, these judgments and prophecies and this Edomite showing his hatred towards you Israelites is going to turn up. So expect to see more instances of this taking place. And as it says in verse 13, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? And while you do get upset seeing these Edomites doing things like this to Jake, hey, we've been out there on the highways and byways, beginning with our apostle elders, hey, for 30 plus years, warning you Jakes of the times to come and who your enemies are. But it seems like you Jakes are becoming more rebellious and showing more hatred towards the prophets. So, hey, we're starting to lose pity for you Jakes out here, and know simply that it's the judgments of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai coming your way. And again, to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans out there, your natural enemy are these Edomites. And it goes much deeper than just skin color or any base thing like that. It actually goes back to the fact that our forefather Jacob got the blessing and the birthright to the kingdom of heaven from their forefather Esau. It's a spiritual hatred. This is Genesis chapter 27. I'm going to start at verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And this was after Jacob supplanted Esau's blessing from him, even though in the spirit it was always set up for Jacob to get the blessing and the birthright to the kingdom of heaven from Esau. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. This is going into the blessing that Esau did receive, and these Edomites are currently in control of the planet right now and of the choice places on it. As it says in Job 9 verse 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and they got it and by thy sword shalt thou live. Hey, their military prowess and hardware, it beginning with literal swords, then you had muskets and cannons, all the way up to machine guns, grenades, tanks, fighter planes and jets, and now the ultimate culmination of their sword, these nuclear missiles, which are going to be used to take down their very rulership. And shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Now listen closely in verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And this hatred that Esau had towards Jacob is here to this very day. It began with Esau, then it went down through his line to his sons and daughters. And as we're about to read about in that article, that's an example of that hatred Esau had for Jacob and him slaying his brother Jacob. This is Ezekiel chapter 35. I'm going to start at verse 1 and jump around a bit. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. And just as Israel or Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, Mount Seir is a people before it's a place. So this is talking about the nation of Esau, Edom as a whole, because Mount Seir was an ancient dwelling place of the Edomites. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred towards Jacob, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. As we're about to read, that Israelite was slayed by the force of Esau's blessing, the sword, at gun, being shot 9 times, in the times of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. And when we go into that word perpetual in the Strongs, it's H5769.
Strong's H5769. Olam. Olam.
Olam, long, duration, antiquity, futurity, forever, ever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient, world, ancient time, long time, of past, when Jacob supplanted the blessing and the birthright to the kingdom of heaven from Esau. Forever, always, continuous existence, perpetual, everlasting, indefinite, or unending, future, eternity. These Edomites will always hate you Israelites, and no matter how much love or marching or good deeds or goodwill you want to show towards them, it's not going to change. It's in their spirit to hate you Israelites and want to do the worst that they possibly can to you. Just look at the history between Jacob and Esau. And even when we get them into slavery in the kingdom of heaven, they're still going to have this perpetual hatred and animosity towards us. The only difference being they won't be able to act out their impulses, and we're going to be able to get our revenge on them. As it says in Revelation chapter 13, verses 9 to 10, he that hath an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So as it said back in Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, never trust thine enemy. This is Jeremiah 13, verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good, that are accustomed to do evil. These Edomites are estranged from the womb, as it says in Psalms 58. and they have that perpetual, never-ending hatred towards us, as it says back in Ezekiel 35 verse 5, and they've got that same spirit in Genesis 27 that their forefather had. The days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. Now let's look at an example of that perpetual hatred. Esau slaying his brother Jacob. There are calls for an arrest after a Jamaican immigrant, so-called Jamaican, really a Benjamite of the Southern Kingdom, was shot and killed in western Pennsylvania earlier this month. The coroner in Venango County said Peter Spencer was shot several times. The Black Political Empowerment Project, BPEP, wants answers because no charges have been filed. And this is one of the reasons why the Most High is allowing these Edomites to run roughshod on you. We're not so-called black or African American. We're Hebrew Israelites. And you jakes that want to continue to hold on to this label among all these other labels that have nothing to do with who you truly are, and these Edomites are going to continue to put a foot in your ass for it. A statement was released Monday saying, in part, we demand the immediate investigation of this murder by the Venango County District Attorney, the U.S. Attorney General, and the PA State Attorney General. BPEP CEO Tim Stevens talked to Pittsburgh's Action News 4 about Spencer's death. He says Spencer had a fiance and an unborn child. I found this story beyond tragic. We decided that we needed to send a letter to some of the key members that be in Pennsylvania, Stevens said. Police say Spencer was found shot on Carl's Road in Rockland Township in the early morning hours of December 12th. Chair of the Allegheny County Democratic Black Caucus, William Anderson, has been in constant communication with Spencer's family. This was a whole family that came to this country seeking a better life, and their life is destroyed. It will never be the same. This is not America, but this is America, the United States of America, which is biblically known as Babylon the Great, as well as spiritual Sodom and Egypt, as pursuant to Revelation 11, verse 8, was never meant to be a place of rest for us. It was meant to be a place of punishment for us, since we went off from the laws, statutes, and commandments of our power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Real quick. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. And we can clearly see that that Jake was destroyed because this place is not our rest. And it says, arise ye and depart. And that's speaking about arising and departing from this place spiritually. Hey, to you sincere Akim and Akwath out there that come across this truth and are making a difference to try to change your lives and come back to your power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, you should be doing everything in your power to spiritually move away from this place. And of course, you got to have a job so you can put a roof over your head and provide for your family and keep clothing on your back and eat. And you may have to be around Edomites, but keep it simply at that, at a cordial business level. Don't try to do too much and go to the family barbecue, or as this Jake did, go on a hunting trip with his former co-workers. You saw what the end of that was. And I am even further outraged that this is someone that came from another country and was slaughtered, shot 9 times, Anderson said. We are talking 6 bullets in the chest, 2 in the buttocks, and 1 we have a different opinion, either through the mouth or from the neck out of the mouth, Stevens said. And they shot this Jake down dead like a dog, like a fat hog. Pennsylvania State Police said a 25-year-old man was taken into custody and multiple guns were located at the scene, but no charges have been filed. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. According to Anderson, Spencer's fiance dropped him off to go hunting in Venango County with a former co-worker he had visited in the past. This time he was taken directly into the woods and not this person's mother's home. To the fiance, she didn't totally feel comfortable with that. Stevens said. Less than 24 hours later, when she went to pick up Spencer, he was dead. Stevens says the man who was taken into custody claimed self-defense. Madness. And this Jake supposedly went on this hunting trip with 4 Edomites. What's one Jake gonna do in attacking 4 Edomites in the woods that all have guns? Hey, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, for it is polluted, and it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction, which we think is a defenseless defense, an unexplainable defense. We can't help but wonder if there was some racial animosity, and if this possibly could be a hate crime, Stephen said, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. The days of mourning for my father Isaac are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So far, police have released an initial report and did not include any details about the suspect or possible motive. BPEP is calling for justice, saying the self-defense narrative is unacceptable, offensive, and beyond troubling. This is serious, and people need to know they can't do this in Pennsylvania or hopefully anywhere in the nation, Stevens said. On Wednesday, On Wednesday, Pennsylvania State Police issued an updated release on the incident. Police said the investigation is ongoing, pending autopsy results, toxicology reports, ballistic reports, and lab results. Once the investigation is complete, the Venango County District Attorney's Office will review the case and all reports to make a recommendation on charges, police said. The Pennsylvania State Police requests the public remain patient. We are actively investigating the incident and are providing all investigative updates to the District Attorney's Office as appropriate, the release said. That's pretty much it with that. Now I'm going to play a little bit of this video.
Peter Spencer's death.
And just look at some of the images they show of this Jake. This is a Jake that had no business going hunting with some Edomites.
The police unit that handles hate crimes is joining the investigation into Peter Spencer's death. He's a Jamaican immigrant from Pittsburgh who was shot and killed in Venango County 2 weeks ago. Kylie Walker joins us now live with where the investigation stands in reaction from more people demanding justice.
Yeah, Ryan, right after Peter Spencer's death, state police say that they took a 25-year-old suspect and 3 others into custody for questioning. But now, 2 weeks later, state police say that they have not filed any charges yet. Now, Spencer, he was a Jamaican immigrant and a resident of Pittsburgh. And state police say he was shot several times on December 12th. It happened on Carl's Road in Rockland Township. We do know now that the state police Heritage Affairs team, which prevents and responds to hate or bias-related crimes, is getting involved. And the case has many groups, including the Black Political Empowerment Project and the Allegheny County Democratic Black Caucus, calling for justice.
Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good, that are accustomed to do evil. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim were edified. Just keep strong and keep pushing this word. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.